In Palestine, Israeli occupation forces kidnapped Palestinian activist Ahed Tamimi along with her father in the occupied West Bank. In Venezuela, authorities launched the electoral campaign for the consultative referendum in defense of the country's sovereignty over the Guyana Esequibo territory. And in China, Cuban Prime Minister Manuel Marrero met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. Forces kidnapped Palestinian activist Ahed Tamimi earlier Monday morning. In the Israeli side on the Gaza Strip has intensified this proportionately in the last few hours, reaching the point of kidnapping activists. According to Ahed Tamimi's offender, then Takruri, Israel's troops stormed her home in Navisal, a village in the occupied West Bank, and after vandalizing the residence, took the young woman and her father away. In Palestine, Israeli warplanes killed about 45 people in the last few hours as part of the Tel Aviv 31st day side of the Gaza Strip. According to the local media, Israeli warplanes attacked two houses in Deir al-Balah and al-Sawayid in the central Gaza on Monday. Most of the victims are reportedly to be children. These bombings came as a search for survivors trapped on the rubble caused by previous bombardments by the Israeli forces was ongoing. And now we go again to the Gaza Strip with a report from our correspondent Noor Harrison, who is at Al-Assad Hospital.
A new Israeli attack on Al-Maghazi refugee camp where thousands of Palestinians are residing. A refugee camp means that there is so many homes close to each other, and actually with the evacuation, now we have families taking shelter at each other's homes. A new Israeli attack on a new refugee camp here in Gaza, and actually Al-Maghazi refugee camp is one of the camps where the Israeli IDF asked and told the Palestinian people to go for safety. However, the Israeli airstrikes are following the people, no matter if they are in northern Gaza or they are in southern Gaza. Right now I am inside the Shuhada al-Aqsa hospital, which is the main hospital in middle Gaza, serving hundreds of thousands of people. And as you can see, the doctors are treating the patients on the floors of the hospital. There is no beds. It is a total chaos here in the hospital. This is what is happening. And as usual, most of the victims of this Israeli airstrike is actually women and children. According to the latest statistics by the Palestinian Health Ministry, 10,022 people have been killed. 70% of them are women and children. And this is the situation now in Gaza's hospital.
In the Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis City, Gaza Strip correspondent Mohammed Al-Safed witnesses heartbreaking scenes as the wounded arrive. After the Sunni's bombing, Al-Safed captured with his camera full of ambulances with bodies of wounded or their children. The doctors try their best to save the life of the wounded with whatever that have available. Aims, tears, and desperation, health personnel provide first aid. These images have become a daily occurrence in the face of the Israeli genocide against the Palestinian people. Those that survived the relentless attack have but one question: where are their loved ones? The Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Hussein Khamenei, said on Monday that without the United States, Israel would have been destroyed in the first week of the conflict. with Palestine. In a message to the Iranian nation, the supreme leader denounced that Israel continues to commit atrocities against the Palestinian people only because it is supported by Washington. The Iranian leader added since the beginning of the conflict, the government of the Western countries have been supporting Tel Aviv and justifying its actions, stressing that world mobilization and rejection of the Israeli attack in the Gaza Strip has surprised Tel Aviv allies, and now they attend to divert attention to Iran because its complicity in the genocide against Gaza has been exposed. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi received this Monday Iraqi Premier Mohammed Shiad al-Sudani aimed the crisis generated by the region by the Zionist genocide against Gaza. The two countries emphasized the end of the Israeli bombardment of the Gaza and warned of the possibility of the expansion of the conflict in the region. President Raisi accused the United States of lying with its claims to seek the ceasefire in Gaza, but them vetoed resolutions in the UN Security Council to do so, thus allowing the Zionists to commit more murder. Let's take our very first break, but remember you can now join us on our TikTok account and teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. For this Monday, the Venezuelan people mobilized and started a permanent debate within the framework of the election campaign that begins on the consultative referendum in defense of the Guyana Esequibo territory. The campaign, which was called by the National Electoral Council, is scheduled to end on December the 1st in preparation for voting of the referendum on Sunday, December the 3rd. President Nicolás Maduro explained that it will serve to raise the awareness, organization, and participation of the Venezuelan people. The head of state instructed the leaders of the campaign command to distribute flyers to travel around the country and to call the people to the great cause of the Hamblin, which involved the defense of the historical right of Venezuela over the Esequibo. The Argentine government announced that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, will open an investigation at the end of November on the capital flight of the 2018 loan for $45 billion contracted by the former right-wing President Mauricio Macri. This was confirmed on Sunday by Sergio Massa, Minister of Economy and candidate for the ruling party in the ballot of next November 19 against the right-wing Javier Milei. The government of Alberto Fernandez canceled last week the accumulated maturities of October for a value of around 2. Massa defended his administration at the head of the Ministry of Economy and while talking about sterling inflation and the low level of international reserves, he recalled that his government had to face two eventualities, the draw and the criminal agreement with the IMF. In Guatemala, thousands of indigenous people warned that they will continue protesting to demand the resignation of Attorney General Consuelo Porras. Several indigenous organizations announced that they are still in permanent assembly and if necessary, they will carry out massive mobilizations of protest. The indigenous peoples assured that they are aware of the harmful plans of the Supreme Court of Justice with which they intend to contribute to destroy their democracy, and they will be vigilant to take the corresponding actions. On Monday in Paraguay, hundreds of people mobilized in the main streets with multiple demonstrations in rejection of the non-compliance of labor code of maternity. Paraguayan employees, many of them women workers, demand improvements such as the reinstatement of the pregnant or the breastfeeding women dismissed from their jobs, the fulfillment of Social Security and Christmas bonuses. Unionists and employees from various sectors concentrated in front of the courthouse to demand multiple non-compliance with the labor code regarding maternity and evasion of payment by the Social Security Institute. Pro-choice advocates campaign in the United States on Monday ahead of the high strikes vote in the state of Ohio. Social activists are urging residents to vote in favor of explicitly ensuring abortion rights in the state constitution. Ohio will decide on Tuesday whether or not to include abortion rights in the Constitution, and a vote that should allow Democrats and Republicans to fine-tune their national strategy on this central issue ahead of the 2024 presidential elections. U.S. social activists expressed their opinion about Roe v. Wade law overturning that eliminated the constitutional right to abortion after almost 50 years, and that Ohio State will define polling stations on Tuesday.
It's our body, and we have the right. And the government is trying to take it away from us, and they shouldn't have the right.
I didn't think it could happen, so it was really hard, and to feel sick about, like, being complicit in it, too. So, yeah, it was tough, and it just, having somebody say what you can and can't do with your body is really scary.
The 39th edition of the Havana International Fair of FIFA 2023 began its activities on Monday with the participation and exchange between exhibitors, businessmen, and professionals from Cuba and abroad. Considering that the main commercial exchange of Cuba and the Caribbean, the event will be held at this traditional venue of the Expo Cuba Fairground until November 11, a meeting point for all actors of the national economy. Another attraction of FIFA 2023 will be the Sixth Investment Forum, an opportunity for meetings between national and foreign businessmen, as well as with potential foreign investors. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch our interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. We'll find out our break, don't go away. Welcome back. On Monday, Cuban Premier Manuel Marrero met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The premier has been touring the Asian nation since November 2nd, his first since he was appointed prime minister. In Shanghai, where he made his first stop, he held a meeting with his counterpart Li Keqiang, where he highlighted the solid ties of friendship between the two countries. Li called for increasing cooperation in different fields, emphasizing new energies and biomedicine. The Cuban leader also held a meeting with the head of the Nation People's Assembly, Sao Leji, stressing the importance of the relations between the legislative bodies. On Monday, Chinese President Xi Jinping also met with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in Beijing. Xi noted that this year marks the 15th anniversary of then Australian Prime Minister Go to Wetlands visit to China, and describes Albanese's current visit as a building on past achievements and opening up new prospects. The Chinese president added that thanks to the joint efforts of both sides, China and Australia have resumed exchange in various files and embarked on the right path of the improving and developing relations. Authorities in the Indian capital, New Delhi, announced on Monday that they will restrict private vehicle traffic to give respect to the city shock by a mixture of pollution and smoke. Over 30 million people are currently affected by the ongoing situation. Pollution measuring companies certified that New Delhi is once again the most polluted city in the world. In this sense, the local government declared on Sunday that schools will remain closed for another week. In Kenya, local authorities on Monday confirmed the death of at least 15 people as a result of floods caused by the heavy rains last week in the country. The Red Cross of Kenya also reported that 15,264 houses were affected, in addition to the destruction of roads and power lines. In Honduras, authorities maintain an alert throughout the national territory due to heavy rains that have been affecting the country for a week. According to the Secretary of Risk Management and Contingencies, the yellow alert is in effect and in at least 5 departments, while 8 others are under green alert or low supervigiance. The Pan American Games Santiago 2023 and the BMX freestyles as the featured sports at the Urban Park Center of the National Stadium. Our correspondent Eduardo Regonesi was covering all the details of the last day of competition.
Sun shining on top, this Sunday was the last day of action at the Pan American Games Santiago 2023. BMX Freestyle was the event in charge of closing the games since early in the morning until way past noon. This discipline was introduced in Lima 2019 and has a lot of fans that gather to watch Sunday games, where each country was eager to secure another medal for their team. One of them was Ana Gabriela Zacarias, who despite being one of the eldest competitors and was facing rivals that are half her age, valued the camaraderie that this sport provokes.
Our sport before the Olympics and others was always like a community, a very interesting brotherhood. We are always supporting each other. In fact, during the practices with the girl, we were supporting each other. You can get the triumph, come on, you can do it.
At the end, Hannah Roberts from the US won the gold on the women's side, while Jose Augusto Torres from Argentina got first place on the men's side. And just like that, the action at the National Stadium was done, giving way to the closing event at the Bicentenario Stadium in La Florida, where several artists sang in front of athletes and authorities. There were 19 days of intense activities, where the US dominated the table, while Chile and Colombia had very good performances, and left the host country satisfied with a job well done. For Deportes Telesur, Bastián Merino and Eduardo Regonesi.
And with that, sorry, we have come to the end of this news brief, but before saying goodbye, we want to thank our Caribbean audience, especially the audience of Trinidad and Tobago. We are pleased to share our newscasts and contribute to provide an alternative news sources of the latest world events. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net, and also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English, and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.